Is Caitlin Clark sending a message to Stephanie White, Amber Cox, Kelly Krauskopf, and the Indiana Fever? A message could be being delivered. Many people are speculating with this bold move.
Welcome back to the Clark Update, your go-to spot for the freshest basketball news, major updates, and the absolute biggest stories in women's basketball. Today, we are tracking a major developing story involving Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, and the New York Liberty, and the rest of the WNBA that has the entire fan base talking. There are tons of questions, wild speculation, and crucial details to unpack. So stick with us until the end as we examine what is happening right now and what could happen next. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the Clark Update, hit those notifications, and join the debate down in the comments. This is the Clark Update. Let us get right into today's massive story. Look, officially, this is a total disaster. The entire WNBA has just been thrown into the single greatest crisis in women's basketball history, leaving the Indiana Fever organization living in absolute fear tonight. These days, the rumors are far more than just quiet whispers in private. They have totally taken over the front pages. According to reports, Caitlin Clark is preparing to walk away from the Indiana Fever. Breaking news says Chris DeMarco and the New York Liberty have just stepped in with a massive, mind-blowing, multi-million-dollar offer to rescue this generational talent from what they view as a toxic, dysfunctional system over in Indiana. The WNBA commissioner is reportedly furious over the shocking revelations that continue to emerge from this rapidly developing situation. Nobody saw this coming, but it makes total sense when you look at the complete collapse of the relationship between Caitlin Clark and her own coaching staff. The system has completely let her down. She has been misled by the management, and now the ultimate fallout is playing out. The Indiana Fever are now in serious danger of losing the single greatest player this franchise has ever seen. If you honestly think this is just some typical trade rumor, you are completely blind to the real battle happening behind the scenes. Tonight, we are exposing the secret multi-million-dollar push of the New York Liberty, the exact reason behind the meltdown of the Indiana front office.
SpaghettiOs. Caitlin Clark introducing the Statue of Liberty edition, the New York Liberty edition. I already know you damn near besties with Sabrina. We think you cool with Lexi. No, you go way back with Sabrina. Caitlin Clark could be sending a message to the Indiana Fever. Hey, I might not sign that epic. Y'all pushing everybody else for MVP. Stephanie White is having tantrums every time I shoot the ball. She's falling over herself on the sidelines. I don't have to deal with this. I can go elsewhere. And I think Caitlin Clark should seriously consider going elsewhere.
But look, you have to consider the ongoing, unacceptable betrayal Caitlin Clark has faced from her own coaching staff to truly understand why she is ready to pack her bags and head to the New York Liberty. For months, fans have been horrified while the coaching staff did absolutely nothing but watch. We all saw those malicious hits. We all saw those blatantly dangerous, flagrant fouls on the court. And yet, the coach just sat silently on the bench, refusing to stand up for her or call out the league, or even defend their franchise player while we literally witnessed opponents targeting her on the floor with the clear intent to cause harm. But it did not even end there. The breaking point was when the coaching staff started using fake injury reports to control her minutes, benching a completely healthy superstar under the excuse of medical management. While it was a calculated attempt to assert control, the actual result was a disaster. According to reports, the camp of Caitlin Clark has had enough of the lies. The sheer level of disrespect inside that Indiana facility has reached a point of no return.
Just has to do better, and we have to invest in those areas. The technology can get better. We can treat the referees a little bit better, pay them like they're full-time employees. I think things like that. And, I think a lot has obviously come after that. And as I've stood up here and said before, like the harassment, the hate, none of that is okay. That goes for the opposing team we play. That goes for my teammates. That goes for my coaches. There should never be a question of character. Like I've always stood up here and said that, and that's truly what I believe. That's how I was raised. So, none of that is okay, and I don't want anybody to ever experience that. I think it can be really frustrating to me at times, and I think it's difficult. I think a lot of people sometimes think I'm a robot. I'm not a robot. I have emotions, I have feelings, and it can be really difficult to go through a lot of that. And, I'm 24 years old trying to navigate a lot. And I think at times I've been in this world for 4 years now, and you would never change any of it. But there are times that it is hard, and there are times that, it probably affects me a little bit more than I do put on. And, I would never change any of that for the world. But I think it's important that people do remember that part of it too. So,
Look, you cannot expect a generational talent to stay loyal to a franchise when you are treating her like a total liability. Instead of breaking her spirit and holding her down, this coaching staff completely ruined the franchise's future. And that is exactly where the New York Liberty and Chris DeMarco are stepping in to exploit the chaos. The Liberty front office smells absolute blood in the water. They are making an unprecedented push right now after watching this coaching staff actively undermine and completely mishandle their own superstar. And according to sources close to the situation, New York is preparing to drop a historic trade offer and a massive financing package that would completely reset the entire market. When Chris DeMarco dropped some subtle, highly eye-opening comments about Caitlin Clark, the entire basketball world stopped and took notice. He made it clear to the league that the Liberty can offer the top-tier coaching, protection, and major market size that Indiana utterly failed to deliver. The drama is wild, but the business logic is flawless. And according to league insiders, other major stars like Sophie Cunningham are being pulled into these trade talks after seeing the train wreck in Indiana and realizing a massive power shift is coming. The New York Liberty are hunting for way more than just another player. They are trying to control the WNBA's entire future. On top of that, they are using the terrible coaching in Indiana as their absolute best leverage. And we seriously have to talk about this. Shout out to ESPN, because he broke down exactly how Caitlin Clark is still being targeted out there, and she is getting absolutely zero whistles from the referees. Like, none at all. It is getting really bad. What is going on here? And it is almost like Kathy has completely dropped the ball here, and we all know she has dropped the ball. She is getting absolutely nothing done when it comes to this issue. Just look at this clip right here while I refresh it and get it going. Okay, they went right for her throat for the third straight game. She was completely thrown off her rhythm because they hammered her all night long. I have proof of everything. Watch this dirty play. Caitlin Clark was getting constantly hit and held. I mean, she was literally getting tackled like a football player. That is just straight up crazy. The WNBA commissioner is furious and completely taken aback by the scale of this backroom manipulation. Having a superstar player try to force her way out over internal deceit and terrible coaching is the ultimate nightmare scenario for the league office. According to reports, the commissioner is demanding immediate answers from the Indiana front office, raising serious questions about how a coaching staff could alienate the face of the sport like this. The Indiana Fever management is currently under an impossible amount of pressure. They are caught between a superstar who is already checked out mentally, a furious fan base demanding immediate firings, and an incredibly angry league office. The head coach's time in Indiana is essentially done. The locker room is fractured, and the brand is ruined. They destroyed their own careers thinking they could control Caitlin Clark with bizarre restrictions and media spin. But the New York Liberty might be in Caitlin. Clark's future, especially with her actively promoting those Statue of Liberty-themed CC ones. The fallout from this entire disaster is going to be massive, and time is officially running out. That multi-million-dollar offer from the Liberty becomes inevitable if the Fever cannot find a way to salvage this relationship in the next few days. Indiana's Caitlin Clark era is falling apart due to pure ego, dishonesty, and terrible leadership. Will management make a last-ditch effort to fire the entire coaching staff just to convince Caitlin Clark to stay? Look, the Indiana Fever have never been honest when it comes to reporting player injuries. So, honestly, you cannot expect any kind of transparency from this organization at all. Honestly, it is a complete waste of time to look for any real transparency from the Fever organization regarding Aaliyah Boston's injury. Or is it already way too late to stop the New York Liberty from dominating the entire league? The sports world will never be the same now that this drama has peaked. As this story unfolds, one thing is impossible to ignore. Pro basketball is officially entering a wild new era defined by pure excitement, uncertainty, and nonstop conversation. Every single day brings another major headline and a new report. Another crazy rumor. Or a heated debate that completely grips basketball fans worldwide. Whether you are a diehard supporter of the Indiana Fever Whether you are a diehard New York Liberty fan, a Caitlin Clark follower, or just someone who loves the game of basketball, there is no denying that the interest surrounding these developments has reached crazy high levels. The non-stop debates across social media, sports talk shows, and podcasts, and basketball communities show exactly how invested everyone is in the future of the league and the players who are driving it forward. What makes this whole situation so fascinating is that everyone has a completely different take on what happens next. Some fans argue that patience and roster stability are the key ingredients to build a real championship contender. Others believe you have to make bold moves and major changes if you want to build a winning future. But no matter where you stand on this debate, there is one thing almost everyone agrees on. The growth of the WNBA is flat out remarkable, and the spotlight on its biggest stars is reaching crazy new heights. The intense passion from the fans, the dedication of these athletes, and the massive spotlight on the league have made it so every single big story instantly becomes a national debate. And honestly, these debates matter because sports have always been about way more than just wins and losses. They are about high-stakes competition, ambition, leadership, and chasing true greatness. Fans connect with these players because they see real grit, determination, and relentless hard work. That deep emotional bond is exactly what makes every single game matter and every storyline so compelling. So when huge news breaks involving these high-profile athletes, fans naturally get locked in because they care deeply about the future of their favorite teams and players. At the same time, we have to remember that rumors, reports, and constant speculation are just part of the modern sports world. Until the official ink is dry, there will always be lingering questions, heated debates, and different ways to read the room. That very uncertainty is one of the main reasons why sports talk stays so engaging. Fans love breaking down the possibilities, predicting outcomes, and trading takes with other people who live and breathe the game. Every single conversation adds another layer to the drama, building up the excitement for what might go down next. Now, I want to hear from you. What is the single most important factor when you are building a winner in today's basketball landscape? Does organizational culture play the biggest role? Or is elite coaching the real key to sustaining long-term success? Or do the superstar players have the biggest impact on where a franchise goes? There are so many different viewpoints, and that is exactly why these sports debates get so interesting. Drop your thoughts in the comments section down below and let me know exactly where you stand. I read through your comments every single day, and some of the absolute best debates on this channel come from viewers bringing unique insights to the table. If you are enjoying this video and appreciate the effort that goes into bringing you these basketball breakdowns, show us some love by hitting that like button. It might seem like a small click, but it makes a massive difference in helping other hoop fans find our content. And if you are new around here, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. We are constantly covering the biggest stories, the hottest sports debates, and the most exciting news from around the basketball world. And we would love to have you join us as part of this growing hoop community. Also, go ahead and share this video with your friends and fellow basketball heads. The more people who join the conversation, the better and more engaging these debates get. Sports are always better when fans get together to trade ideas, celebrate the big moments, and debate the future of their favorite teams. You showing up helps build a community where basketball fans from everywhere can connect over their shared love for the game. Looking ahead, one thing is totally certain: the future of basketball is filled with endless possibilities. New stars will emerge, fresh rivalries are going to heat up, and new storylines will capture everyone's imagination. This journey is far from over, and some of the most exciting chapters are still waiting to be written. That is why staying locked in, staying engaged, and keeping up with the conversation is more important than ever. Thanks for rocking with me and watching this video all the way through. Your support, your comments, and your likes are what make this channel run. We truly appreciate every viewer who takes the time to watch, engage, and jump into the discussion. Keep sharing your takes, keep supporting the game, and keep living and breathing the game. We have got a ton of intense debates, breaking updates, and fresh analyses dropping very soon. So keep it locked right here. Until next time, take care, keep your passion for hoops burning, and remember, the next blockbuster headline is always right around the corner. We will catch you in the next video.